All right, in this video, we're going to continue applying the idea of between this, these segment addition postulates, what else? Midpoints, okay? And we're going to use our algebra skills. So here we go, 2.3b, it's our mini lesson, midpoint of segment with expressions. I'm going to scroll till we get to example 5, because you're going to have a couple of these done in class. Make sure you understand those in class too. So here's number 5. It says line segment ST bisects line segment PR. And where does it bisect it? At point Q. Bisect, bicycle, 2 wheels, right? Biplane has a plane with 2 wings, a lower and a higher set of wings. Biplane, bicycle, 2. So bisect means it cuts it into 2 equal parts. So that means Q is going to be the midpoint. Then we know that P to R is equal to Y plus 6, and P to Q is Y plus 2. We're supposed to find P to R. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense until we draw a sketch of this. So I have line segment PR, so here's P, here's R. I have another line segment that is bisecting it, so it's cutting it right through the middle. So ST would be like right here, ST, and it bisects it at point Q. All I'm doing is drawing a picture of what is being stated. Now, let's put in some clues to help us find the distance of P to R. We're supposed to find the distance from P to R, which, come on pen, which is from here all the way to the end, R. We do know that from P to R equals Y plus 16. So that a whole distance from P all the way to R, that whole distance is Y plus 16. And from P to Q is just Y plus 2. So we're going to figure out what the distance of P to R is, and we do that by finding out the variable Y. If we could find the variable Y, we would just add it. We would just add it right here to this Y here and add it to 16, and we'd have our answer. So we need an equation to set up. And we know that ST, that line segment, bisected PR at point Q. That means Q's right in the middle of PR. That means that P to Q, which is Y plus 2, has to be the same distance as the distance of Q to R. Now, why did I just do that? It's supposed to be Y plus 2 there. And I know that if I add this distance plus this distance, it will give me the total distance. So all I need is Y plus 2 plus Y plus 2. Or like in algebra, we can say 2 times the Y plus 2, because there's 2 of them. That has to equal the total distance of Y plus 16, which I got from right here. Okay, so keep that in mind. So now what we got to do now is solve this equation. Whoop, I'm erasing things instead of writing things. So we distribute 2 times Y. 2 times 2 is 2Y plus 4. That's just Y plus Y and 2 plus 2. And we have Y plus 16 here. I'm going to move the Y's to the left side, so get rid of them from the right side. So I end up with 1 Y here, no Y's there. Subtract 4, subtract 4. So Y is by itself. 16 minus 4 is 12, Y equals 12. What do I do with Y equals 12? That's not my answer. I'm supposed to find the distance of P to R. From P to R is Y plus 16. If Y is 12, I put in 12 for the Y, add 16 to it, and I get 28. So my final answer, the distance from P to R, would be 28. All right, try to speed this one up a little bit so you can see it quicker and move on. We have a line segment DE. It bisects line segment AC at point B. We know the distance of A to C is n minus 16. B to C is n minus 18. We're supposed to find A to B. Let's draw a picture. So that picture shows I have this line segment A to C. It's being bisected by line segment DE at point B right there. And since it bisects it, that means these distances must be the same. A to B has to be the same as B to C. So let me label what else we know. So I know that from B to C is n minus 18, like it says up here. It also tells me the total distance from A all the way to C is n minus 16. Remember, like the last problem, B is right in the middle of A to C, so this distance, B to C, has to be the same as A to B. This has to be the same as B to C, which is n minus 18. And all I got to do is add those two together, AB and BC. It should equal the whole distance of n minus 16. So it's 2 of the n minus 18s equal to n minus 16. Then you got to solve that equation, find out what n is. Then you got to substitute in the value for n and find out the distance of A to B, which is right here. So you just subtract 18, and that would be your final answer when you subtract 18 from whatever n is. All right, number 7, K bisects JL. K to L is 45, and JL is 9n. Find n, and we're supposed to find JL. So we need to find two things. We'll find n first. So let's draw it. So I drew my picture from everything that we were told up here. We were told that K bisects JL, so K is right in the middle. K to L is 45, so I labeled that. K to L is 45 right there. J to L, which is the total distance from here to here, that's 9n. We're supposed to find n and JL. How do we do that? Well, the key is K bisects JL. And that means that J to K is the same distance as K to L. That has to be 45. So together, that makes 90. And we know that that distance is the same as this distance here, which is J to L. So 9n equals 90. Divide by 9, you can probably do that in your head. N has to equal 10. So you found n is 10. Now we're going to find J to L. Well, we already found that. J to L was 90. All right, last example for this video. We already have B is the midpoint of A and C. We already drew the picture for us. B now we know is in the middle. It looked like it was, but it has to tell us, and it tells us it's the midpoint. So right off the bat, I know from A to B, I know that distance from A to B has to be the same as B to C. And I know that this distance is 9x plus 16. This is 3x plus 22. They have to be equal to each other. And that would be your equation. Oh, I just messed that up, didn't I? It's 9x plus 16 is equal to 3x plus 22. Now, once you have your equation set up, you just got to solve it. So hopefully you see what I did. I just subtracted 3x from both sides, and I subtracted 16 from both sides, and ended up with 6x equals 6. And I'll finish that by dividing by 6 on both sides. So what's x? It's 1. What do I do with the 1? I substitute it back in for the x here and the x here. So how far is it from A to B? 9 times 1 is 9 plus 16 is 25. So that would be 25. B to C has got to be the same thing because they're supposed to be equal. If I put a 1 in for x, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 22 is 25. So what's the distance from A all the way to C? You just add the 25 to 25 and you get 50.